Bigger you want your fort to be, the farther out on the limb you have to go to nail off your first floor supports. So in reality, the size of your fort is directly related to the courage of the guy whose job it is to make the first trip out on the limb. It is simple. Little courage, little tree fort. Big courage, big tree fort. After quite a few painful plunges to the ground, I was able to develop a pretty fail-safe method of doing this. I would climb out on the limb until I heard it starting to crack. Then I would slide back down the limb about 2 or 3 feet and nail the floor support off at that spot. It never failed. That way we knew that we were definitely building the biggest tree fort we could for the size tree we had chosen. It was interesting. We could actually look at the size of some of the other guys' tree forts and tell a lot about their level of courage. Sadly, most of their forts were really nothing more than small platforms nailed very securely to the trunk of their tree. In the dangerous and intimidating world of treehouse building, it's just a fact. Scaredy cats never build big tree forts. I soon found that the same theory we used for building tree forts also worked nicely when picking apples out of our neighbor's tree. It did not take more than a few seconds to see that the apples did not grow out of the trunk of the tree, and that if we wanted to enjoy them, we were going to have to get out on the end of the limb to get them. Sure, you can cling to the trunk where it is much safer, and occasionally reach far enough to grab an apple or two. But if you really want an abundant harvest, you will have to go out on the limb. This is not a task for the faint-hearted. The whole time you are out there, you are faced with 2 thoughts. First, just how good the apples are going to taste once you get out to them. And second, just how far it will be to the ground if you fall. I eventually learned that the more I would venture out on limbs, the less I would fall or even worry about falling. When was the last time you went out on a limb? Or as we Christians say, stepped out in faith? For some, it could be to the point of actually hearing the limb cracking under you. For some, it could be getting the courage to share your love for Jesus with unbelievers. For someone else, it could be asking their boss for a much-needed promotion. Or for others, it could be getting the courage to leave a church that is steeped in religion to pursue one that practices the entire Word of God. No matter what they are pursuing, the sound of the limb cracking means different things to different people. To most, the sound represents impending doom that usually results in their despairing of ever reaching their goals in life. To the rare few who really trust God, that cracking sound is always an indication that abundance lies just up ahead.